Alright, so I'm gonna make this, or try and make this, a smaller video, but I want to try and cover lows, highs, higher lows, and lower highs all in one little clip here. And this was a pretty good example because someone the other day was calling out, it's gonna keep running, blah blah blah, and I was able to tell them like, no, it's not. Like it's actually gonna probably reverse, and then you'll see a retracement, and then after that, I have no clue on Tesla, and that was the other day. But all I did on this chart so far was mark the high and the low of pre-market, just because that's a good range I think we're all pretty familiar with. And I'm just going to go through it and kind of cover a couple patterns and a couple little highs, lows, and different little divergences that you can kind of use to your advantage in the future. And this will be a VIP video, but instantly let's just talk about from open to close. So from open, we had a good drop with lowering volume. That's good. Didn't really break this support. I mean, it did close under it, but you didn't have anything crazy go towards it. And then you got kind of a strong 3-bar play. Volume confirmed you. So that was good for reversal. So you have your low of the day confirmed. You're moving up now. So we can kind of move on from there. Another 3-bar play. Not as strong with volume, but it was in fact a 3-bar play. It's still a 3-bar play if it isn't matched up with the volume, but it's just better to have the volume match like this. See how this was like high, low, high. Then you have high, low, lower. Then you have another high. See, that was good continuation, but on this, just 3 bars. Let's just cover that. All right, so let's get over to the high of the day. So let's mark this. So I saw that we pushed up here. We ended up pushing here with multiple 3-bar plays. Came back down, did our little 80% entry here using the BB system. So both types of entries were done that day, and this is why the whole chat ate on Tesla that day was because of this. The breakout here, the support catch, everyone was super bullish already. So these are all really good signs for continued move up. No matter how high it was, we knew that we were going to be in it. But let's talk about kind of a little more than just how he could have played calls. So it ended up going up and rejecting the high of day, came down, pushed down, and right here, people are probably thinking, okay, let's look for another run. How could you get faked out? So a lot of people tend to think like, because look, so you have a bullish rectangle here. So you're probably thinking like, okay, super good run. This is about to be really strong, but it was actually weak. You had lowering volume across this entire move here, which is good for consolidation. But then you had lowering buyers, lowering sellers, lowering everything. So this entire move here was weak. How else could you have figured that out? Well, you already had your high of day, and you already have your low of day. So you have a good trend. You have a converging move up this way and a converging move down this way. So one thing is that it didn't even push up higher than the other high. So you don't have a strong break. You need rising volume above this level, not to this level. And it didn't even have that. It had dropping volume. So it was even weaker than usual. So that's how I was able to call out. Somebody was in chat. I'm not going to name names or anything, but somebody was saying this is going to probably run, break here, and go to 900 still. It in fact did not. But it was a pretty good lesson behind it because it shows you that you have your high of day. So this is your high. And then you have your higher low. Sorry for the ugly text. Let's just make that an L now. Higher low. So right here. So that's bearish. That shows it's going to go down, especially when you have lowering volume like that. And it's being around lunchtime. So that also doesn't help you out. So let's kind of little zoom in on just the day now. Now you have your low here. You have a higher low here. So you have your low, higher low. And that's because this is your low of day. Pushes up. Has another little trend here. So you have a strong trend. You had a trend break for one. And then you didn't get this to hold because this would have been your like Iron Man, Iron Hand kind of level there. And it ended up even breaking under that with rising sellers. So that was a good little rejection there. Let's talk about the lows now. So you have your low there, your higher low, your trend break. You had your high, your higher low. You're moving over here. Now how are you looking for a possible breakdown? Well, you can draw patterns, you can do all that good stuff, but a big thing there is also doing the high-low method there is here's your high, here's your higher, your lower high. So you have your high, here's 1, here's 2, and then there would have been a third down here if it didn't end up picking up right here and picking up. But the whole thing is if you draw your trend, like I just did, and then you have your low here, so your low's right here, it didn't really break lower. They're pretty even, actually. If anything, it's a falling wedge, very, very slightly for reversal back up. And just by doing that, without actually looking at volume or looking at my levels or anything, I'm able to do that by just drawing a bunch of trend lines. picking my lows out, picking out my highs. The importance of your highs and lows are very, very crucial towards price action trading, because it's cool to play the pre-market high and all that stuff and then play it to a target, but what's after that? There's a lot more than just pre-market breakout stuff. There's a whole rest of the day for trading. Voice chat might be over and chat might be a little slower, but there are still plays developing all day long, and this is where we call them out from. We're looking at these highs, these lows, these higher lows, these lower highs. We're looking at all that. So the big thing here is pattern recognition, marking your highs and lows, seeing how it works with trends, because there's a trend. There's not just one trend here. That's not the only trend of the day. There's a trend going up here. There's some consolidation right here that didn't break higher. There's a break lower, didn't break lower than this range. Another range pops up. You get a nice pattern here, pops up. And I haven't even discussed volume that much in this video. Now, I did a little bit because it's very important. You should be looking at it. But just to go through and be able to mark lines like that and see how strong they are with the strength of volume, you can navigate any stock, any day, any place, just by doing these little simple methods. And this was a pretty good example because I was able to stop someone from getting into calls here. But that was a good breakdown on why, because you had lowering volume to it. It was a lower high, so it didn't even end up breaking this high. So it was a weaker push. So that's bearish altogether. And then it broke this range. That range was kind of like its last ditch, because if it would have just held like this all day and then pushed higher, it would have been a bullish rectangle, but it wasn't. It ended up being just a normal uptrend day for it. So there are some major things there. So you have your high, your low. What are your next major ones? Your lower high, which is right here. And then you have this area, which was your higher low of the day. But you still need to be able to break down the smaller price action, which was like right here. Like when you broke the pre-market high, you had a low, high, higher low, higher high. Then you didn't really have much there. It's just another bullish rectangle going. And then you had a high. So you had a strong uptrend continually doing like a staircase up. Think of it as a staircase. We're just marking the different pivot points of that staircase. So go through a couple charts, find a couple tickers you guys like. If this lesson didn't help you that much, go to the keys chat and go above the futures market plus the stock market video by Chef. There's a post that says, good post about higher lows, volume, and pattern trading with them together. Then there's a link that'll take you to a message in which I covered a live example the other day on, I think it was NEO and then Square, or no, NEO and PLTR. Both of those were very good examples for this exact topic. I just wanted to throw another video up for you guys in the playlist that can also cover that, but definitely go through that.